77 high school juniors representing 30 Indiana electric cooperatives gathered at the Association for Indiana's Electric Cooperatives to kick off Indiana Youth Tour to Washington, D.C. One suitcase, one carry-on, and an all-inclusive one-week trip to our nation's capital. As we're mostly strangers at this point, we formed groups for a quick meet and greet to learn a little more about one another, where we're from, and what we're involved in at school. But it's time to hit the road. We have places to go, people to meet, and memories to make. Load the buses, Washington, D.C., here we come. Our first stop was in the rolling hills of southwest Pennsylvania near Stoystown, where we visited the Flight 93 National Memorial. United Flight 93, one of the 4 hijacked aircraft on September 11, 2001, was only 18 minutes from reaching its target in Washington, D.C., likely the U.S. Capitol.
When I saw one of the posters that had all the people's faces on it, it put faces to names, and it was really, like, they were just people just like us, and how they were so courageous, and they had no fear in giving up their lives so they could save others.
So much potential tragedy was avoided by the selfless heroism of those aboard United Flight 93.
It's just hard knowing that there's family members out there who lost somebody, but they know now that what they did was heroic.
Our next stop was Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, site of the famous 3-day battle between General Meade of the North and General Lee of the South.
This is Little Round Top, and this is where the Union soldiers could look out everywhere, hide behind the rocks, and kind of get an idea of where everyone else is on the battlefield.
The boulders that pepper these hills could easily hide a mass of gray Confederate uniforms. I don't think any of us realized just how expansive the battle really was until we saw it with our own eyes. From July 1st to July 3rd, 1863, there were over 46,000 casualties from both armies in Gettysburg alone. Back in the town of Gettysburg, we spent some time at the shops and also got to play dress-up. The fellas dressed as Civil War soldiers and ranking officers, while us ladies dressed up a little more elegant and proper. The last leg of the journey takes us to Washington, D.C. Well, we made it, and as you can tell, we were a little excited to finally be in Washington, D.C. Our first stop was the memorial of a founding father and a key author of the Declaration of Independence,
Thomas Jefferson.
Before he died, he said that his memorial, he wanted it to be outside, he didn't want to be closed in a little building, and he wanted to be out by the water, and so his memorial is right by the basin where all the water comes in, and they have beautiful water features and lots of nature. We learned all about how he was the one that brought co-ops to the rural areas and to bring electricity, and that's the reason why we have electricity today, and we wouldn't be on this trip without him, so that was really interesting to learn about.
So we're here in Arlington Cemetery, and just the level of respect and the quietness and even the plants and the flowers and everything, it's all perfectly aligned, and respect for the soldiers that have died for our country. And just being here and feeling the reverence, it really makes you feel more connected to every soldier that died for our country.
And the changing of the guards is just so honorable. What those soldiers did and how they honor them every half hour, it's just amazing.
We left Arlington and headed into D.C. And since it was a special day indeed, we wanted to give a shout out to all of our wonderful fathers in front of the most famous house in the country, the White House. Happy Father's Day! Wait, that's not our boat. Now that's more like it. The boat was too big for just our group, which was great because we got to meet youth tour groups from 7 other states.
And you can just look at all the lights in the city and just be with these really cool people and just hang out with them, get to know them. And it was a really cool experience because that doesn't happen every day. So it was really, truly great to do.
Today is Rally Day, which is a day that we're all so excited for. It's where we get to spend time with almost all other 50 states. and we get to hang out with them, and we all like do cheers back and forth, and it's gonna be super fun. This year's youth tour set a new attendance record. Nearly 1,600 students from 43 states were represented at the rally. For all these students our age to come together from all over the country and meet under one roof for a day really was special. And if there was any question, yes, Indiana was the loudest state in the room. Simeon made sure of that. We were here with 42 other states for the same purpose, to learn about leadership, our government, and the cooperative business model. And just as important, we were here to have fun. Even though there were almost 1,600 of us, we really felt like one big crazy family. And congratulations to Maggie Holderman, Indiana's chosen Youth Leadership Council representative.
My state is home to the first electrically lit city. My name is Maggie Holderman, and I am representing the wonderful state of Indiana.
Tomorrow is Hill Day, so in preparation for our congressional visits, Matt led us in a fun and challenging role-playing game that put us in the shoes of our federal representatives.
It was taxing stuff. We did what they would do in 2 years and in about 2 hours. That included things from, passing bills to making friends in the GOP to looking at your community and figuring out what they need best.
Congressional Insight also helped us better prepare questions to ask our state representatives for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Congressional visits at the U.S. Capitol. We were so lucky to be able to meet and speak with our Indiana congressmen and senators. It was inspiring to see our local leaders up close and personal, working on our behalf at the federal level here at the U.S. Capitol. It was a day I'm sure none of us will ever forget. But I have to say, our last stop on the tour was the highlight of the day and a highlight of the trip for many of us.
Okay, so we're here at the World War II Memorial, and behind us is an honor flight, and that's where veterans from World War II and the Korean War, World War II is in the blue and the Korean War is in the yellow. They come here to pay their respects to their friends and to see the memorial for the war that they fought for the first time.
This was a chance encounter and an amazing opportunity to speak personally with these veterans. They asked us a lot of questions as well. They were just as curious about our lives as we were about theirs.
Today is unfortunately our last day here in DC, and it's our last day to hang out with all of our new friends and to have fun together. So on our last day, we're going to a new ZAM, which is kind of history through the eyes of the media, so newspapers or TV reporters.
There were 6 stories of interactive exhibits to explore. The new media exhibit was a big hit. Katie and Katrina can't keep their composure during a live weather update. And what a view from the 6th floor terrace. We could see for miles. We could almost reach out and touch the National Mall, the Capitol, and even the Canadian Embassy. So that's pretty much it. Our day and our time in Washington, D.C. was coming to an end. We had such an amazing week. Even though we miss home, I don't think any of us were ready to leave. This youth tour trip has taught us so much about our government, our rich history, leadership, and the cooperative business model. But most of all, we had a blast. In the beginning, we were just 77 strangers from all across Indiana, and now we're one big family. For some, lifelong friendships were kindled. Others may meet again and become college roommates. Some we may never see again, but no matter what, we all have memories that will last a lifetime. The tears are real, the emotion is real, and the smiles are real. Even though we are going our separate ways for now, we we do all live in the same great state of Indiana, so getting back together will be a breeze. This has been our youth tour to Washington, D.C.